Hi everybody, and welcome to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. In this video, I've got a story for you from the subreddit Am I the A-hole? And then a 2-for-1 revenge story, with a petty revenge and a pro revenge. So, if you want to go ahead and get started with the stories, just use the timestamps below the video. Now, let's get started with that first story. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole? And it's by user Throwaway Bad Bully. Am I the a-hole for not letting go of the past? I, 23 female, grew up in a smallish town. I was bullied badly by a boy, Brad, from age 12 to 14, who was a couple of grades above me in secondary school. He made my life miserable. My older brother shielded me from some of it, but when he graduated, Brad showed me hell. He had just come out as gay, and I think all of his personality revolved around his sexuality at the time. I learned later that he hated my family because I was raised Catholic, which meant automatically we were a bunch of homophobes. His father disowned him and his dad was a Catholic. So while I understood his anger, I didn't do anything to him personally, but he made my life miserable anyway. I only enjoyed school after he and his clique graduated. I tried to report him, but nothing really came out of it. I had to suck it up as the school was the best in the area at the time and I wasn't going to let him win anyway. Fast forward to a few years and I'm in uni in a city a couple of hours away from home, and I find out Brad is in the same department and discipline as me. At this point, I was certain the universe was against me. I know he was just as shocked when he saw me, but I pretended he didn't exist for my own peace of mind. He never acknowledged my existence either, neither did he apologize. My maternal cousin, Kenzie, is my roommate. We're in the same uni, and we've always been in touch, spending holidays and vacations together growing up. She's known about Brad since forever, as he was a household name in my nuclear family. Last weekend, we went to my cousin's family house for Sunday dinner, and Kenzie's big brother brought his partner to meet the family. And surprise, surprise, Brad walks in with flowers. I asked him what the hell he was doing here, and my aunt demands to know why I was being so rude. I told Kenzie that was Brad, grabbed my phone, and took a walk. Apparently, Kenzie filled everyone in and Brad was kicked out and broken up with. Kenzie's brother was bullied severely, so they take bullying very seriously. Brad and some of his friends have taken to sending me countless messages on Facebook and Instagram, calling me a bitch that can't move on from the past. He said I ruined his life. I think I might be the a-hole because I could have easily made it through dinner without telling them who Brad was, or maybe telling them privately, not as dramatically as I did, hence getting him kicked out. Am I the a-hole? OP, in my opinion, no, you were not the a-hole. I believe that emotions just got the better of you and that's why you acted so dramatically. Which is pretty understandable when you see the person that made your life hell as a kid to just walk into your family's living room like that and with flowers all of a sudden. I believe that if Brad would have owned up to what he did to you and actually apologized when he saw you at uni all those years later, this could have been avoided. But he didn't, and after what you said and caused the ending of his relationship, he just proved that he is still a bully. Like that's gonna change anything. Dude, you just need to apologize, own up to what you did, and move on from there. This is like revenge for him now, right? Because bullying OP is not gonna make her cousin go like, oh yeah, I wanna get back together with you. What an idiot. Anyways, my judgment is that OP is not the a-hole. What about you guys? What is your judgment? Let me know what you think in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Greek American Dom says, not the a-hole. So, Brad is still a bully. He could have just easily reached out and apologized for the pain that he caused you in the past. Instead, he went on the offensive and attacked again. Everyone you know is better off knowing this about Brad. Remain professional at school and in your department. If Brad acts inappropriately in any way, 1. Give him one warning that you are not going to sit and take his bullying this time. He can choose to act professionally or continue being a bully. That is his choice. If he continues the bullying, you will do something about it. 2. If he persists, Go talk to your dean. 3. Note, you don't have to give him a second chance. If he misbehaves in the university setting, go straight to your dean. Not the a-hole. He was a couple of years older than you, right? 15 or 16? Old enough to know better than to bully someone. And if he's taken to sending you abusive messages on social media, then he probably hasn't changed that much. Good riddance. And OP responds, he's 2 or 3 years older than I am. Honestly, with the messages I have received, feels like I'm back in high school, but online this time. Pristine Objective 91 says, not the a-hole. You got the opportunity to publicly tell him how you feel. It's probably best that you were surprised, or else you may have kept quiet. Brad could have taken the opportunity to apologize and show some personal growth. Instead, he has decided to cyberbully you with some of his friends. The fact that he is harassing you should reinforce that you are not the a-hole in this situation. Edit. Screenshot some of the comments and give them to your cousin. If Brad tries to convince his ex that you are crazy, recent proof of bullying would be good to have on hand. Then block Brad and his cronies. Well, the community absolutely agrees that OP is not the a-hole, and actually we made pretty much the same points. So now let's move on to the update to see what happened next. I couldn't update till I was sure the dust had settled. Unfortunately, things took a turn for the worst. 2 days after I made the post, I had an 11 a.m. lecture that I went for, and I saw Brad, who cornered me with his friends to trash talk me. It felt like he had been waiting for me. He told me if the little nonsense I pulled was me trying to get revenge, then he was going to show me. I had a mild panic attack and called my cousin. She was so pissed that we walked straight to the dean's office. I was able to see her and we showed her the screenshots of the bullying online, and this lady turned red. Apparently, I'm not Brad's first victim. He bullied a guy so much that he had to transfer and then reported him. I don't know why they didn't do anything then, but he definitely has a reputation. I missed all the gist because I was serious about minding my business. Long story short, I was asked to print out the pictures and bring it to the Senate. That's what our school court is called, on Wednesday, because this isn't his first time. He was indefinitely rusticated, suspended, and was made to apologize to me and every person he's bullied in my school. It was a big deal and news have been flying around the school. He has the option of transferring to another uni or redo his final year or start uni all over again, but it's on his permanent file. His friends were pardoned for some reason. I feel bad because exam is in 9 weeks, but he actually had it coming. I'm just glad that this is over. Thank you all for your advice and support. I honestly wouldn't have reported this if I hadn't posted on here. Have a great weekend. And that's all we know. Unfortunately, there are no more comments where I can get some context from, so this is what we have. Apparently, Brad faced the music and he got some punishment for it, which is good. I don't think the friends should have gotten pardoned. They were just in on it as Brad was. And the one thing that confuses me, but maybe it's because of where this story takes place, is that part that states that Brad had the chance to either transfer schools or start uni all over again. I don't know where OP is from, but if you're familiar with that kind of thing, well, maybe you could tell us in the comment section what's that about. In any case, OP, it's a good thing that this is over for you and now you can just focus on your studies and move forward. Take care. And on that note, we're moving on to the next post. This post is from the subreddit Pro Revenge and it's by user Mage Tomlin. Screw me over? I take away your promotion. For 18 months, I'd been working from home, as most of us had. From a work perspective, this has been great. I've been more productive than when I'm in the office, be able to work more flexible hours, and have saved a ton of money by not commuting. My workplace had an agreement that those working from home can do what hours they want, so long as we are able to answer urgent calls in core hours and we get all our work done. Fair enough as far as I'm concerned. For 16 months, it worked great, as above. Then, over a few weekends, I had to clear out some stuff from my house and took pictures of all the items that were in good condition but we no longer want, with a view to giving it away to whoever wants it. One day, when I'm working from home, I take my lunch break, make a quick sandwich, and post the items that I'm giving away on one of those local Facebook free pages. I didn't know it at the time, but one of the managers, we'll call Shambles, from my work was also signed up to that page, and he saw my post. He then took it upon himself to go to the owner of the company and tell him that I was slacking off and posting on Facebook during work hours. For context, this wasn't my boss, who was super chill so long as everything was done on time, nor was the complaint to my boss, but to the owner of the company. We're a big business, so there's a lot of people in the chain of command between me and the owner. And to top it off, I'd been doing a lot of work for Shambles. He outsourced the running of entire projects to me over the last 18 months, all of which I'd executed well and he'd taken ample credit for. And this was the only time in 18 months I'd posted anything on Facebook, because I never post. So the owner contacted me, and to be fair, he's a decent guy. The conversation went like this.
I've been told you're posting on Facebook during work hours. Just be smart about it. It doesn't look good when colleagues see it.
Completely understand. Just so you know, I posted that during my lunch break.
I was told you were posting at noon.
The company lunch break is usually between 1 and 2. I did, but that's because when I'm working from home, I always take my lunch between 12 and 1.
Okay, I don't have an issue with that. Just keep your head down.
Like I said, a decent guy. I wasn't really in trouble and the owner didn't seem to care. But then I started to think, wait, who the hell has gone to the owner with this in the first place? Long story short, a co-worker who was working on site that day heard on the grapevine that Shambles had been bitching to the owner about me and how I'm always on social media when I should be working. I literally only have Facebook and I only use it for Messenger 99% of the time. Cue petty revenge. As I said before, Shambles likes to outsource work to me. I never minded this. The work was varied and it broke up the week. Plus, my own boss didn't mind as I always had my work for him done on time. However, I never got recognition for this extra work. For 2 years, I managed a sub-department completely on my own because he didn't have time to do it. I didn't get a penny more for it, but it was a good group of people and I enjoyed getting experience on management. Well, after this, every time Shambles came to me with an issue, I would say I was super swamped, but that I'd try to deal with it if I had time. The projects he tried to outsource to me, I immediately rejected, saying that I had a full plate from my actual job. And that sub-department I ran? We'll get to that. Over the next couple of months, Shambles starts missing his deadlines. Issues come up with existing projects that he hasn't fixed, and employees are complaining that every time they go to him with an issue, it doesn't get resolved. It dawns on me at this point that I've basically been doing this guy's job for him for years. F that. I set up a meeting with my boss and put forward my arguments for why I should be promoted, or really why I should have been ages ago. I point to all the projects I've successfully run as well as the sub-department I've managed for 2 years. He completely agrees and says he'll take it to his boss. Now, somehow, I don't know how, but when I go to the next meeting with my boss's boss, Shambles is there too. He's on the same level in the company as my boss's boss. A little phased, but not willing to give up, I put my arguments forward to them. Shambles lets me finish, then proceeds to tell me that I don't know enough about our work to manage. I don't have the required people skills, and then he tells me, and this is verbatim,
"Besides, people here don't respect you, they respect me. I know I'm a good manager. If you really think about it, you know you wouldn't be."
I forget what else he said after that, but I was completely destroyed. Boss's boss comes up to me afterward and tells me that Shambles is a dick, but unfortunately, he's got the approval of the higher-ups, so what he says has too much sway to go against him. I tell boss's boss that if that's the way it is, I'm going to look for other employment. He sighs and says,
I don't blame you.
Cue pro revenge. During the time it took me to look for and apply to other jobs, I have time to think about how I can get back at Shambles. He's used me for years and is now blocking my promotion. I'd already stopped working on his stuff and his projects were going from bad to worse, but I needed something more. Now, this next part could be an entire post on its own, so I've bulleted it for brevity. 1. I'm an accredited internal auditor for our quality systems. 2. I ask if I can be assigned a couple of last audits before I leave to help them out. 3. I carry out these audits and using my intimate knowledge of Shambles projects, find every single issue I can. 4. A number of people also hate Shambles and give me more dirt on him. 5. Someone gives me breakthrough information that Shambles has been forging signatures and bypassing multiple company procedures to make his KPIs, key performance indicators, look better. 6. I write up the report with tons of evidence attached and send it off. 7. The report gets flagged at the highest level because of what it shows. 8. Shambles gets raked over the coals. I wish I could say this story ends with the Shambles getting fired and having to sell his body on the street for scraps, but obviously using all the connections he has, he keeps his job. I later found out though that he was due a massive promotion, as in catapulted to the top of the company, running whole divisions kind of thing. That never happened though. With his declining numbers as well as a damning audit showing all of his shortcomings, he's basically told he'll never progress beyond where he is and that he's lucky to have a job. He still works there and I'm told his ego has been taking down a whole washing line worth of pegs. As for me, I'd love to say I got a better job with a massive raise. That's half true. I decided to pursue my dream job. Literally, since I've been a kid, dream job. In a totally different industry. All the experience I had counted in my favor, and although I took a bit of a pay cut, I've never enjoyed work more. Oh, and that sub-department I was running, they knew that when I left, Shambles would take over running them again. So in my last month at the company, I gave them all tutorials on how to search for jobs and pass interviews. I worked in recruitment previously. I've heard from a number of them since that they'd landed better jobs and thanked me in part of it. Not the perfect ending, but I'm damned happy with it. Well, that is a twofer, 2 for 1, pay to revenge and pro revenge. I think it was a great ending, OP. Sure, Shambles didn't lose his job, but you turned his career into a dead end, and I think that's a far worse fate. And as for you, well, you were freed to pursue your dream job and career, and I'm sure that in time the money will come back in. So in my book, that's a win in all fronts for you. Congratulations, OP, well done. And it's that time that we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. I certainly did reading them to you. So if you did, then go ahead and give the video a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and become a member of our Discord community that just keeps growing and it is fantastic. And like I said in the beginning of the video, all of the relevant links are in the video description below, so be sure to check them out. And finally, I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. It really does mean a lot to me that you guys enjoy this content, so thank you once again. And having said all that, I will see you guys in the next video.